November 9th, 2016, the day it was announced that Trump had won the election, you wrote on Facebook, which is where you do some of your best work, and this is absolutely true. We'll talk about that some more. You wrote on Facebook that day, "I have seen dark days after Pearl Harbor, during Vietnam, in the depths of the civil rights movement. I still believe that most Americans are kind and decent people, including, overwhelmingly, those who voted for Trump. I still believe we can work together. I'll pray for Donald Trump to be a wise and magnanimous leader. I pray that he is not bound by the limits of party. I pray that he can prove his critics wrong. I pray for my country and my countrymen. I pray for the future." I imagine, yeah. I imagine the carpet by the side of your bed has been replaced a few times this past year. All that praying has worn right through it. I mean, how do you feel over, a year later now, a year and a half? Is your optimism still the same? Are you still praying?
I am, and I mean that literally. Praying and hoping that we get through this. Look, this is a very perilous time for the country. We all know that. And it may be a very long, dark valley. I am convinced that if we hold ourselves together, if we emphasize, what unites us, which is the name of a book I recently did, but if we emphasize what unites us, we will get through this. But there's no mistaking it's a perilous time. That President Trump has demonstrated that he is not going to pivot to try to be president of all the people in the country, that he wants to play to what he thinks is his still winning base of core supporters. I had held out some hope that after the election, he wasn't going to change his personality or character, but I had thought that perhaps, and certainly hoped, that he would see himself as president of all the people, and therefore he would have a broader and deeper view of what his responsibilities were to the country as a whole. That has not proved the case, and I'm now convinced it's not going to change.
You stood up famously to Nixon, and you've had your spats with George H.W. Bush and George Bush. If you were reporting on Trump today, if you could talk to him face to face, how would you approach that? What would you like to ask the man?
Well, I'd like to ask him, Mr. President, level with me, level with the American people. Of what are you so afraid? You're obviously very fearful that something is going to be found out. It would be better for you to come forward with it now, get ahead of it. So what is it that you fear so much? Tell us what it is you fear, because this is a man who is afraid. He is very afraid that the special counsel or newspaper digging investigative reporters are going to find out something about him. I'd like to press him to find out what that is. He might or might not reveal it, but I think it's important to ask the question and keep on asking the question until either he answers it or it's very clear he isn't going to answer it.
In all your years of reporting, did you ever think that you would be spending so much time researching Stormy Daniels?
No.
Have you seen her work?
I have not. And I wouldn't admit it if I had.